Not only about, when someone calls into a call center or when they interact with marketing, it's also about, getting the bill of lading on time. It's about reaching into the ERP system. It's about reaching into, making sure that the bill is right, that the goods that are delivered are correct. And I think that's a critical part of this. And I wanted to ask Ven one other question from an organizational point of view. How does that impact your organization? Are you working more closely with IT as well as with the supply chain teams to make sure that it's a continuous experience from the very beginning all the way through to the point where the goods, the cement has been trucked out and they're signing off on the bill?
Absolutely, actually, that was one of the transformations that the company has to go through, more, rather than be a silo-based things like, okay, here's our, when you look at our quote-to-cash processes, we didn't really want to be having all these silos, and we have the logistics group and sales group, and you have all the other departments. So several years ago, we started doing from a functional point of view, how should the flow be from the quote onwards to when we apply cash. And once we normalize those processes, obviously IT enabling those processes from the IT perspective was very, very critical. So I think there was a point about these point solutions, right? Software as a solution. We did use them in the beginning to get a quick hit and to see if how we can get these things done quite rapidly. And at some point we ran into the obviously there's a point you can't serve with all these point solutions, having so many solutions in place, and then IT's role was to create obviously the ERP systems and try to integrate all these processes into a place where we have better communication between all these groups. So we're all looking at one single point of truth, rather, right? Like anybody within the company, as well as our customers and the suppliers, are now logging into the same systems.
Johann, this is really about transformation of the business. It's not just incrementally making an innovation on better cement, but we're talking about they changed their business.
It's a fundamental shift. Yeah, absolutely.
Then, if you are, give us some advice for people who want to follow in your footsteps. I mean, with this type of change and transformation, there have got to be bumps in the road from time to time. So share your advice, please.
Absolutely. I think when we started, I think Johann said CRM. I think that was part of my title at 10 years ago, and we immediately figured out that the CRM, like you said, you really can't manage the customers through this CRM. So we changed to customer experience. But one of the critical things was also not only get the buy-in from within the organization and the customer base, but one of the most critical things for us have been the senior management support in the company. So we really have their total support, as well as for not only from a budget point of view, or from the providing the money, the finances, but to be engaged in the process to really help us get there. So that has been very, very, very critical for us. So I would say, in order to get these things done, obviously we need everybody in the organization to be part of this, but it has to be driven by the senior, the CEO, and everybody down from there.